for the home team. Yes, a remarkable 17 matches have been won by the away side, more than 65%. And today we're at Belmore for a blockbuster top-of-the-table clash to see if the Wollongong Wolves can continue their undefeated start to the season against the reigning champions, Sydney Olympic. Abbotsard's men have started to eat their straps and come into this one on the back of 2 straight wins against Harcoa and the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. It's a big round 5 clash. Alex Sanchez versus Thomas James, 2 of the sharp shooters in the competition, just one of the headline acts this afternoon from Belmore. And we're delighted to bring it to you on the Football New South Wales channels. Tony Tanous with you here. Be sure to share the live stream around with your friends on social media and leave comments throughout. Remember, we're interactive and we're going live not only across New South Wales but around the world. If you are on Twitter, be sure to interact using the hashtag NPL NSW. It's time to take a look at the lineups, and for the host, Sydney Olympic, Abbotsard makes no changes to that side that beat Mount Druitt Town 6-2 during the week. In goals, number 1, Paul Henderson, a back 4 of Will Angel, Tom Whiteside, Mitch Stamatelis and Nick Satalios. A midfield 3 of Haji Gligo, Jinya Ahn and Harry Gaitatsis. And up front, the front 3, Jack Stewart. In the middle, Alex Sanchez and Jason Madonis. As for the Wollongong Wolves, sitting atop the league on 10 points, undefeated. No Will Glukshi today. He's suspended after being red-carded last week. So Richard Lee is the coach today, and no changes for the Wollongong Wolves. In goals, Justin Passfield, the back 4 of Taylor McDonald, Nick Littler, Nikola Georgievich, Guy Knight. Midfield 4 of Harry Callahan, Ben Tossi, James Stoichevsky and Takura Okada. And up front, Thomas James and Lachlan Scott. We're about to get proceedings underway. It is the Wollongong Wolves who'll be kicking us off, and they'll be running from right to left. What a blockbuster. We can't wait to bring you this one. Round 5 action across the New South Wales National Premier League. And our referee for this one, Brad Wright, gets us off with the Wollongong Wolves playing it through the back. As I mentioned, no Luke Wilkshire today. He was sent off in that 4-3 win to the Wollongong Wolves last week away at Lambert Park, having a bit too much to say to the officials. So Luke Wilkshire, saw him earlier today watching this one from the grandstand. On the bench will be the under-18s coach for the Wollongong Wolves as they play forward early. That under-18s coach, Richard Lee. Wollongong through Thomas James now, trying to combine with Guy Knight, 2 of the prize recruits in the off-season. Ben Tossi now gets it forward, looking for the run out of midfield from Callahan. And now it's on the left through Okada. The block coming from Whiteside. In the end, it's a corner. But on the Wollongong Wolves on the front foot early, forcing Tom Whiteside into some defensive work. And Harry Callahan involved with Takuru Okada early on. Mentioned no changes for the 5th straight week for the Wollongong Wolves. What a luxury that is for the coaching staff. And they get the corner here through Okada. To the back post, Henderson comes and gathers. Very confident take from the veteran keeper. And he can roll it out through Jack Stewart. Sanchez trying to provide the option. Stewart with the switch of play now. Olympic building it up. Harry Gaitatsis making the move forward on that right-hand side. Good transition. We know Sydney Olympic saw that last season. Their transition a big part of their game. Looking to get flowing early on. As Stewart moves across to the right-hand side now. One of the recruits for Abbotsard in the off-season. Putting the pressure on with a high press here, Olympic. In the end, Stoichevsky wins a corner to the Wollongong Wolves, but the press coming high from Will Angel. High octane start here, exactly what we expect. 2 teams that love to get on the front foot, love to press high. And this promises to be a real showpiece of quality attacking play. Stoichevsky has to recover there on the pass from Guy Knight. In the end, off hands from Harry Gaitatsis. A key recruit for Abbotsford in the off-season. Really started to hit his straps in the last couple of weeks. I thought he was fantastic for Olympic in that midweek 6-2 win over the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Made a cameo appearance last week for Olympic in a 1-0 win away to Harkoa. You can see Gaitatsis, who's come in to fill that role, left by the departure of Max Burgess in the off-season. Max Burgess, of course, going over to the Wellington Phoenix in the A-League. One of the real standout players in the New South Wales top flight last season. So Gaitatsis with a big responsibility. Seasoned campaigner, lots of experience. Abbotsford keen to get him fit. We've started to see the fruits of that. Midweek, big game here against the Wolves, who look to switch the play forward. In the end, that's overhit from Taylor McDonald. Comfortable for Henderson. Been a warm one here in Sydney today. Starting to cool down. Olympic can't keep that one in on the far side. Talk about that away record. It's quite a remarkable record across the New South Wales National Premier League. Unheard of, really, on the Australian football scene. Also unheard of, really, across world football. 65% winning ratio to the away sides. Wollongong Wolves, one of those teams not known in previous years for having a great record away from home. But it's just uncanny, the start to the season. In fact, since round one, only one team has won at home from the 20 games since round one. Here's a Carter for the Wollongong Wolves with a great set piece, and Henderson forced into a save. Terrific early action here. In the end, the flag did go up. But Wollongong, we've talked about their set-piece threat in the early part of the season, and that was on display early there. Flag did go up for offside. Henderson did come up with the save in the end. Ball not going out there from the free kick. Hugh Fenton White on that far side. One of our two assistant referees on the near side, Yanis Adabju. Mentioned Brad Wright with the duties in the middle today. Only his second NPL New South Wales match. A big one at that. And our fourth official, Adrian Arndt, one of the experienced officials. No doubt helping Brad Wright manage this game. Wollongong. Olympic trying to get it down to Stewart. Guy Knight gets it forward again. Callahan ostensibly starts on the right side of midfield for the Wolves, but you do see him popping up all over that midfield. They do play a very compressed midfield four. Stoichevsky and Ben Tossi, the two more deep central midfielders, and then you've got a Carter and Callahan on either side, and they do tend to tuck inside, trying to combine with the likes of Lachlan Scott and Thomas James. Mouth-watering, seeing whether Thomas James can extend his goal tally at the top of the New South Wales NPL 1. Comes into this with 7 goals for the season against last year's competition sharpshooter in Alex Sanchez, who started to hit his straps in the last couple of games. He's now got himself 3 for the season. So certainly that's one that whets the appetite. Just one of the many battles. Carter versus the experienced Will Angel is certainly another one to watch. Will Angel playing it right back for the champions Olympic. Here's the left back on the other side, Tatalios, having to do a little bit of defending as Gaitatsis gets the flick on. The battle in the middle between Arn. In the end, it's a free kick to the host Sydney Olympic. Haji Gligor upended, trying to pick up that loose ball. Key battle that one, Stoichevsky and Ben Tossi against the likes of Gligor, Junior Arn. As I said, Wollongong do like to overload with Callaghan and Akata dropping into that midfield. And what a start it has been for the Wolves. The city right behind them. Live stream going across the fraternity club. Here they have a bit of defending to do. Sanchez trying to take on Littler. Littler forcing him wide. Sanchez on the cross inside. And now Satalios coming forward for Olympic. Working back was Callaghan. Really important job for him to track those runs as Satalios is starting to build up his games. For Abbassad, started on the bench at the beginning of the season, was injured. He's played the last couple of games. As the cross comes in, the back post is Stewart. Fresh off 2 goals in 2 games. Here he is, Jack Stewart. The cross to the back post, looking for Madonis, the skipper. Tries to tuck it inside. Littler clears. James trying to hold it up. Junior Arn working back for Olympic. Whiteside happy to play all the way back through Henderson. And now out through Stamatellis. It's great to see Mitch Stamatellis back into the Olympic starting lineup last week. Junior Arn caught offside there. Stamatellis trying to play him inside. Player who moved across to Harcoa at the start of last season. Back in the Olympic fold. At the start of this one, out injured at the beginning of the season. Back into the starting lineup last midweek against the Mount Druitt Town Rangers in that deferred round 2 match. Stamatellis getting on the score sheet for Olympic in that one. This man got 2. Sanchez starting to hit his straps, forcing Nikola Djordjevic back into the defensive work. So a bit of early pressure from Olympic coming here as the chant goes up from the home side. Saw the great Andrea earlier as we entered the ground, leading the chorus of chants here at this famous ground that's hosted so many NSL games over the years. Now home to Sydney Olympic in the New South Wales top flight. Their 3rd home game of the season. Looking for their first win at home. Junior Arn decks it inside. Justin Passfield with the sun in his eyes. Not an easy one to deal with. Madonis now gets it back out to Arn. Arn takes the one touch and now looks to the back post. Overhitting that one. Disappointed with the outcome. A player who prides himself on the real 1%ers. Doesn't like to make too many errors. It's been terrific for Sydney Olympic over a number of seasons in the New South Wales NPL. Very adaptable player, great mobility. It's just reflecting on that away record. Mentioned Sydney Olympic yet to win here at home, their 3rd game. But only 4 of the teams, as we mentioned in the build-up, 4 of the 26 games have been won by home sides. We've had 4 draws. Something that it was observed by one of our avid followers, Mike Levendis. Posted a comment on Twitter last week. Great feedback from our viewers. Our growing viewership right across the New South Wales scene. And Mike, certainly very observant of him, raised that point about the home records. Not many teams seeming to win at home, lots of away wins. So we started to track the figures. And those numbers continued to grow over the last couple of nights. We saw Olympic win 6-2 on Wednesday at Mount Druitt. And then yesterday, a couple of away wins as well, as Lachlan Scott tries to build it in through Akata. Working back though, Will Angel. Wollongong getting forward well. Akata, that's a couple of times he's managed to work on the edge of the box. Certainly his delivery at set pieces has been a real feature of the 2019 season so far. Very early in it. The variations a real feature as well. The short one this time. Inside it goes! Olympic having to do the defending. Excellent delivery again from Akata. Wollongong play forward quick. Henderson happy to see that one over from McDonald. As I mentioned last night, a couple of away wins as well. Sydney FC coming back from 2 down against the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. A massive comeback for them. A great win for them. We saw them mount a big comeback last week against the Wollongong Wolves. Didn't quite get anything out of that one. They lost that one 3-4, but last night, big comeback from them. Here's Stewart, though, for Olympic. The block coming from Georgievich. Appeals from the Olympic faithful here. Look to come off chest, though, as a Carter ducks inside. Now he's looking for the link up through Littler. 13 minutes of fairly fizzed by here at Belmore, as Littler looks to get James in, forcing Henderson out to his box, right on the edge of the box. Stewart, having done the work in the other half of the field, working back now. What a battle that is against the Carter here. In the end, forcing a throw to Olympic. Carter a bit frustrated by that. So a big win to Sydney FC over Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Also Sydney United away from home last night. Another great clash. Across our NPL New South Wales live streams that was over at Seymour Shore against the Sutherland Sharks. A late winner to them. Gave them a 3-2 win over the Sutherland Sharks. So Sydney United, they lost last week in a blockbuster against the RPL Leichhardt Tigers at home. They've gone on the road. 3-2 win, a double from Glenn Trefiro. Late goal from Tariq Mayer, cancelling out the early goals from Jeremy Cox and Raoul Benet for the Sutherland Sharks. Stewart now trying to combine with Gay Tatsis. Can he get the cross in? Stewart can't get it past Ben Tossi though. And Guy Knight clears it as far as Callahan. Now it falls to Stamatellis. Gligo trying to get it under control for the hosts. Now it's out with Arn on that left foot. Jack Stewart with a bit of space and time on the edge of the box. Took a bit of time to get that one under control. It gave Guy Knight the opportunity just to come across and apply that defensive pressure. Player who's come out of the Illawarra Premier League, a stalwart of the Bulleye team that won the premiership last year. In fact, Guy Knight scoring that winning goal. The captain of the Bulleye side. Olympic now trying to create something on the edge of the box here. Wollongong away. In the end, they get a free kick to Scott and they play on quickly. Callahan looks to dink it out to that right-hand side for the overlap from McDonald, who forces some pressure on McDonald. McDonald still with the ball here. There's numbers in the box for the Wolves. Can they get the ball in? Patience here. Looking for the right option, not blazing away. Now they get it across. In the end, too close to Henderson. And the opportunity fizzles out. Plenty of touches early for a player who came across from the Blacktown City under-20s in Jack Stewart. Now he ducks in on his left foot. Tries to slip that ball in. Making that move forward was Harry Gaytatsis. Two players, as I said, in the build-up who've really started to hit their straps for Abbassad and Giancarlo Italiano. Giancarlo Italiano has joined Abbassad as the assistant here at Olympic. Speaking to both of them ahead of this one, very happy with the continued improvement of the likes of Gaytatsis, Satalios and Stewart. Probably started the season a little bit underdone, but really starting to build into it. Here's James. Hasn't had much of a sniff so far this afternoon, but we know he only needs an inch. And he can take advantage. On this side, the flag's gone up against him for an offside. The player who moved across from Canberra FC in the off-season. Prolific record over there across 4 or 5 seasons. And he certainly picked up where he left off, coming into the New South Wales top flight. Really made a name for himself in the opening rounds, the Englishman. 7 goals, as I said, currently leads the scorers across the New South Wales top flight. Having said that, had the fortune of seeing an unbelievable hat-trick last week from Chris Payne for the Apia Leichhardt Tigers. At a Densor Park, including a real goal of the season contender from Chris Payne. So that moved him up to 5 goals. Apia currently leading by 2-0 in a game that's taking place at home ground against the Rockdale City side, who've had a really poor start to the season given their recruitment in the off-season. So Apia leading that one. 4 games taking place today. Try and keep you up to date with those. But in the meantime, it's Wollongong building through a Carter. His cross can't find the target though. Stays in at the back post, does it? No, it's gone out. Have a goal kick. Can also give you an update from Cromer Park, where Manly United, coming off a big 2-1 win last week away to the Marconi Stallions. They've just scored against Blacktown City in the 59th minute there. So Manly United leading Blacktown City by 1-0 with about half an hour remaining there. At Lambert Park, it is half-time. Apia Leichhardt leading 2-0. And later on, from Marconi Stadium, 7 p.m. kickoff there. Sure to join Will Gotsis, who'll take you through the action. Marconi in action against Hakoa. Twilight game there. Part of our coverage across the New South Wales top flight. Live streams of all the top flight games, all the under-20s, all the women's top flight games as well. And a match of the round in NPL 2 men's as Olympic come forward. Down that left-hand side, Satalios venturing forward from left back. But his right foot attempt, tame in the end, straight at Passfield. Neither keepers had to produce any significant saves so far. 20 minutes into this one. A real early season marker game, this one. Wollongong undefeated, as we said. Been in flowing form. Both teams, in fact, with very identical goal-scoring records after 4 games. Olympic have 10 goals for. Wollongong have scored 11. Both teams have conceded 6. So very little separating them in terms of the goals for and against. As Satalios gets a bit of treatment after that collision inside his own box. So we'll certainly keep an eye on that one. I think for both teams, certainly the 6 goals against won't please either coach. I know Luke Wilkshire made some comments after the game last week. He said he was very disappointed to concede those 3 goals against Sydney FC. He said that they've got to stop leaking goals. And really, when you're up 3-0, he wants the team to be a bit more ruthless. He thought they let Sydney FC back in the game. Probably contributed a bit to his frustration on the sideline. In the end, he got a red card, which means that he's out for this one. Also, he's out midweek for an FFA Cup game. So a 2-game suspension there. The Wolves will be in action midweek on Wednesday, away to the Dunbar Rovers, team from the New South Wales 3rd tier. That one's at Hensley Athletic Field, so certainly try and get to that one on Wednesday night. The Wolves away to Dunbar Rovers. We saw the draw come out for round 4 of the New South Wales FFA Cup preliminary rounds. 64 teams in round 4. All the NPL 1 sides entering at this particular point. So Sydney Olympic will be in action against Linfield FC. Linfield from the North Shore. That it won't be this Wednesday, it'll be the following Wednesday, 17th. So the game's starting to flow thick and fast. Olympic will be in action on the 17th against Linfield in that FFA Cup game. And then 2 days later, they'll be here on Good Friday against Manly United in a blockbuster Good Friday clash here at Belmore. But for now, they've got a bit of work to do against Thomas James, who draws a free kick here. So a set-piece opportunity to the Wolves. Guy Knight's left this one at Carter. He's one of the players over the ball. It looks like Thomas James has joined him. Player who moved across from Canberra FC, where he scored 80 goals across 83 games. And he started at a rapid ratio here in the New South Wales top flight. Is he the player that's going to step up from this set piece? Thomas James it is! And he tests Henderson, who had to get down sharp to his right. A good early action. Competition's leading scorer, showing he can also take a mean set piece. Sanchez couldn't bring that one under control. Neat little ball out of the midfield from his skipper, Madonis. Both those players getting on the score sheet midweek. Brace each for Madonis and Sanchez. As Olympic really started to lift the gears. They're involved in a 3-3 thriller here. Back in round 2. In fact, it was round 3. Great game against Blacktown City. Sanchez among the scorers on that afternoon. Adonis also scored, so they've contributed 3 each for the season so far. 2 of the players who were up there in the Olympic goal scorers charts last year. Both had outstanding seasons. Really key players. I think for Abbassad, certainly some encouraging signs for him. With the likes of Jack Stewart also contributing. We've seen last season as well. Radovan Pavicevic, who starts on the bench this afternoon. Abbassad certainly needing those contributions, not only from Alex Sanchez. As Akata comes forward, Japanese international trying to take on Whiteside, who holds him up well. 2 players who were featured in the Ultra Football Team of the Week last week, along with Thomas James, Tom Whiteside, and Takuru Akata. Those 2 have been regular features. Here's Callahan dropping into that middle pocket in the midfield between the lines and forcing the challenge here out of Mitchell Stamatellis. So it's another set piece here. Olympic have got to be careful. Talk about the Wolves set piece threat, danger that they can pose. We've seen that already this season. The likes of Djordjevic, Littler last week, picking up some scraps, seconds from a set piece. Not the initial set piece, but certainly the resultant second ball. And he's gone forward for this one. Along with Djordjevic, Lachlan Scott. We know his threat in the air, scored from a header last week. Former West Sydney Wanderers academy player. And this man's delivery. Akata! And then Henderson with the save. What a block that was. Terrific set piece again from the Wolves. And Henderson had to get down sharp. Here's the ball inside. Stoichevsky, a great ball. Henderson with the punch. Authoritative goalkeeping. Not for the first time we've said that. Player who gets better and better with age. Started the season with an injury on the back end of last season. Henderson, terrific last week. Got the 3 points in the 3-2-1 votes. Away to Harkoa. And he started this one in superb form. Forced into a couple of sharp saves down to his right. As Stamatellis steps out. But again, the threat from Wollongong. Carter's delivery on point as usual. Here's Stewart. Now Whiteside flicks it out to the left-hand side for Satalios. Love the movement of this guy. Alex Sanchez peels out to the left. Now he takes on Littler. Sanchez in the box. Can he tee it up? Numbers in the middle, though, for the Wollongong Wolves. And now they can come forward. Starting to see a bit of the open action we promised here. No goals so far, but we usually get plenty between these two sides. Olympics certainly have the edge in the head-to-head. Here's Okada coming forward. Probably could have taken it on. In the end, he was trying to slip it into James. Flag's gone up, though, coming back from an offside position. Like the idea then from Stoichevsky and Okada, did Thomas James. Loves to make those third-man runs in behind the back four. Hope you're enjoying this one wherever you're watching. Tony Tanous with you. First half has merely fizzed by. We're at 29 minutes mark. And you're watching this live across NPL New South Wales Facebook. Be sure to share your thoughts. Leave comments throughout. Let us know what you think of the competition so far, that away record. What do you put that down to? Unbelievable figures. 75% of the games since round one have gone to the away side. As James comes forward, is that a penalty? The flag's gone up for a corner there. James taking on Stamatellis, showing it can dribble into the box as well, forcing the challenge, and Stamatellis just about getting something on the end of that one. Guy Knight not so convinced, having a chat to the referee, Brad Wright, in fact. But it is another set piece here to Takuro Okada. Making the run to the near post is McDonald, but it goes to the back post. Chance to get the header in. And there was an opportunity. McDonald in the end forcing a collision against Henderson there, who stayed down after that one. Heavy collision on the keeper. But the back four of the Wollongong Wolves. Mountains, all four of them. McDonald, Littler, Georgievich, and Guy Knight. You add the likes of Lachlan Scott. And certainly there's a lot of aerial threat for Luke Wilkshire's side. Said no Luke Wilkshire on the bench today. What a great start for his life. Undefeated after 4 games as a senior coach. But a new experience today, having to watch this one from the grandstand. Georgievich. Pressure coming from behind. It's Alex Sanchez it was. Putting his hand up there, apologising to Georgievich. We saw a running battle between him and another new NPL 1 defender in Tariq Erkan. Back in round 1 here against the Sutherland Sharks. What a great battle that was. Sanchez said he's learned from that one. Here's a chance now for Okada on the edge of the box. Did it come off an Olympic player? Yes, it did. It's a corner again. Mounting up for the Wollongong Wolves. Keep an eye on our great captions delivered to you across our New South Wales NPL streams. What a great product it's been. All the action coming to you live. 4 games this afternoon. Another variation short from the Wolves. They can't keep it in on that far side. So Olympic can set up. Yeah, just to carry on that point though, be sure to let us know your thoughts. Certainly unprecedented. I managed to engage one of the great statisticians in Australia. Sanchez comes forward. Chance here for Olympic. Sanchez! Side netting it is. Rounded the keeper Passfield. Acute angle though, and couldn't find the back of the net. But there's the danger of Alex Sanchez. The speed in behind, which was such a feature last season. The Spaniard committing the keeper there, rounding him, but he couldn't quite find the angle from that left-hand side, and it remains 0-0 here. Chances at both ends. The action starting to hot up. Here's Callahan. Now he's got him behind Stamatellis. Callahan in the box. The youngster trying to tee up Lachlan Scott. Takes the touch. Scott and buries it. Terrific bit of work from the Wollongong Wolves. And they take the lead here. A chance at the other end for Olympic. Wollongong Wolves go down the other end, and Harry Callahan tees up Lachlan Scott for his second of the season. And the Wolves take a 1-0 lead here at Belmore Sports Ground. And it's the away side who go 1-0 up again in the New South Wales top flight. The Wollongong Wolves. We've seen them when they take the lead, they're hard to chase down this season. So certainly Olympic with their work ahead of them here. Haven't got a great record, do the Wollongong Wolves against Olympic. In fact, last year they lost both games quite comprehensively by 4-goal margins. They lost the corresponding game here at Belmore 5-1. They lost over in Wollongong 4-0. And if you look back over the last 5 years, they've played 13 times. Sydney Olympic have won 8 games, 4 draws, and the Wollongong Wolves have only won once in the last 5 years against Olympic. So certainly two teams with a great history and tradition in the National Soccer League. Both former national champions. And they're starting to turn on a classic here as Sanchez drives at Littler. Sanchez trying to go past Littler. Now he gets to the byline and cuts it back. On the edge of the box is Stewart. Lays it off, Madonis. And now it falls on the edge of the box. Finding Stewart in the end on the left foot. Is that the equaliser? Incredible. In the end, the flag does go up. Olympic player in an offside position. But almost capitalising there, Jack Stewart on a loose ball on the edge of the box. And Gaitatsis didn't get away from that free kick quick enough. And he's gone into the book. So the first player booked for Olympic. Is Gaitatsis. We've had 35 minutes here. Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels. And if you've just joined us, this game is really hotting up. Wollongong Wolves have taken the lead through Lachlan Scott. That goal coming in the 33rd minute. He's second of the season, a player who moved across from the West Sydney Wanderers Academy. Mentioned a couple of weeks ago, he looked in really good form, just didn't have the goals to show for it. And bang, bang, one each in the past 2 games. You talk about that threat of Thomas James. You can't take your eyes off Lachlan Scott as well. Shows you the potency that they have and why they have so much confidence. The Wollongong Wolves. Remember speaking to Luke Wilkshire ahead of the season. Certainly ahead of their round 2 game away to the Apia Leichhardt Tigers, where they had 4 away games on the spin. We'll get back to that point, but for now, it is Junior Ahn who gets the ball inside. Flag's gone up though. So that's Stan Metellus in an offside position. Yanis Adabju on the spot. Certainly the Wollongong Wolves haven't had a great record. In fact, last year they only won 3 of their 11 away games. They haven't had a great record in recent seasons on the road. It's something that they really struggled to get a handle on under Jacob Timpano. I spoke to Wilkshire about that. He said they haven't really spoken about the away record. Got 4 games to come on the road. And they've gone on, they've beaten Apia away, beaten Sydney FC away, taken a point away from Adenso Park, and here they are at the home of the champions, leading by 1-0. And next week, they're back at home. Wynn Stadium's not been available, but back at home. And the hype and the amount of attention that they've received, expecting a huge crowd there at Wynn on Sunday afternoon. As Scott gets it out, or he's looking to get it out to that right-hand side for James. Faking the shot and trying to get it past Satalios. In the end, though, it breaks to Olympic. And now Stewart can drive that guy Knight. Good start from Jack Stewart to this game. Confidence flowing. And now Madonis. Touch lets him down for once. Player whose touch is usually so sure, probably in 2 minds then. Not sure whether they go solo or try and link up with Alejandro Sanchez. in the end, getting his feet in a bit of a tangle. Here's Gaitatsis. Can't get that one under control from Stamatellis. Two of the returning players to Sydney Olympic. Another returning player on the bench today, Troy Danaskos, who spent some time at Marconi last season. Came off the bench midweek in that 6-2 win over the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Certainly the bench for Abbotsford. If they can't find themselves an equaliser, they got Radovan Pavicevic, Nikola Koleski, Troy Danaskos, and also Darcy Burgess returning to the squad today after missing out midweek. And the bench for the Wollongong Wolves. Available is Chris Price, Jordan Nikolovsky, Darcy Madden, Stefan Domovsky, and the reserve keeper is Luke Carey's. Certainly as we get into the second half, we might see those benches used. In the meantime, though, Olympic have certainly created. Not really tested Passfield enough, though. Junior unfortunate to get that one past Callahan. Again, we see that high-octane pressing from the Wolves. Such a feature for them. Lots of mobility and pace. It's Olympic build-up down the left-hand side. In the end, it's tame. Sanchez it was, pulling out, as all good strikers do, into the wide areas. Two of the great Visa players. Star of last season and a star of this season so far in Thomas James. Callahan again dropping inside with the Carter. Now it's the Englishman James. Now he's combining with Scott. Working back though is Haji Gligor. But it is a free kick here. Stamatellis adjudged to have been holding Lachlan Scott there. Tom Whiteside not agreeing with the referee. Remonstrations here from the Olympic players. But what an opportunity and what an area this is for the Wollongong Wolves. Already 1-0 up. We're in the 41st minute here. And it looks like James wants this one. We saw him hit the target a short time ago from a little deeper. This one's just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Brad Wright's moved his wall back. So Henderson's got a bit of work to do here. Can James get it over the wall? Olympic have pushed someone back on that near post. And James lines this one up. Can't get it through the second line of Olympic blue shirts. Now it's forward to Sanchez. Djordjevic in behind, strong. Gets it out to James. Diving in strongly there was Will Angel. Winning all ball according to the referee. James stayed down there. But it's a throw in here to the Wollongong Wolves. Apia look like they're in red hot form at home against the Rockdale City Suns. Apia leading that one by 3-0. Try and get some goal scorers there. As Guy Knight takes this one, looking to extend the lead for the Wolves. Atalios away. Stochevsky trying to battle away. Madonis now all the way through to Littler. So that one approaching the hour mark. Carrying on really where they left off last season. Apia, of course, winning a big semi-final against Rockdale by the tune of 8-1 at Lambert Park. So they really picked off where they left off there. Meanwhile at Cromer Park, Manly United leading Blacktown City by 1-0. 5 minutes to go there. So Manly looking for back-to-back wins. Blacktown have had a solid start to the season as well. Can they find a late equaliser there? Here at Belmore in this top-of-the-table clash. First versus third coming in. Olympic, the champions, now have to come from behind in this one. with just under 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time in this first half remaining. How many times have we seen goals just before the break? Can Olympic find one here? Certainly looked lively. The likes of Sanchez, Jack Stewart as well. Jason Madonis just not quite been able to find that execution in the front third. Once it clicked into gear midweek against Mount Druitt Town Rangers, certainly got flowing for them. One goal was followed by another, and soon they racked up 6. So that type of team, they can put some goals together quickly. Lots of attacking potency. They have got in behind Wollongong a couple of times. Not quite been able to find the execution as Jinya Ahn comes forward out of midfield. Again, that ball from Stamatellis just a bit too straight. And the weight on that one, Ahn couldn't reel that one in. Hope you're enjoying this one wherever you are. As I said, be sure to interact on Facebook. You can certainly leave comments there. If you are on YouTube, you can certainly use that rewind button, catch up with that finish from Lachlan Scott. If you haven't seen that one yet, at the break, you can certainly rewind, catch up with some of the highlights. We'll have all the action for you on our Football New South Wales channels throughout the week. Great coverage from the Football New South Wales media team. Highlights, match reports, previews, reviews, photo galleries, you name it. It's all covered. The most comprehensive coverage you'll find across the NPL scene. Some terrific stuff from the team. And this competition that always delivers so much quality and drama. And speaking of that, really hasn't it started to hot up in the last couple of weeks? The goals starting to really flood in. We saw that last night, goals galore. Goal average now of 3 a game. It started off a little bit slow, but 78 goals now across the 26 games. An average of 3 a game. 23 goals in the last 4 games. So goals really starting to tally up. An average of 6 goals a game over the last 4 games in the New South Wales top flight. We've got one for you here so far. But given how open this one has been, expect plenty more action in the second half. Certainly Abbassad and Giancarlo Italiano look to address a couple of things. Terrific half it has been. Ben Tossi trying to knock it down to Jinya Ahn, now picking it up for Olympic. Again, that final ball, I think that's really the key message for Abbassad and his coaching staff at the break. They have managed to get players into good areas. That final execution, whether it's the final ball or the finish, has not quite been to their liking, and that's it at the break. It is the Wollongong Wolves leading this. They've been the team that's been able to execute in the final third through Lachlan Scott. Chances at both ends in this top of the table clash. Particularly Paul Henderson having to work extremely hard for Sydney Olympic. But at the break, it is 1-0 to the visitors, the Wollongong Wolves, over Sydney Olympic. We'll take a short break and be back with the second half action. Join us shortly. And it's welcome back to Belmore Sports Ground. It's round 5 action in the New South Wales National Premier League. Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels on both YouTube and Facebook. And if you've just joined us, it is a top-of-the-table clash. It is the Wollongong Wolves, the visitors, leading by 1-0 over the defending champions, Sydney Olympic. And what a second half this promises to be. The goal scorer for Wollongong Wolves, it was Lachlan Scott in the 33rd minute, tucking away a fine cutback from the left-hand side from Wollongong. And Lachlan Scott giving the visitors that 1-0 lead. We talk about that record of away wins across the New South Wales NPL. 65% of games have been won by the away side. And will that record continue here in the second half? Wollongong Wolves undefeated, but it is the champion Sydney Olympic kicking us off. Junior Arn playing through Stamatellis at the back. A high press coming from Wollongong, forcing Stamatellis long. Play on's the call. Certainly work ahead of them for Sydney Olympic. We know they can create chances, and they've got lots of goals in them. What are your thoughts watching at home? Be sure to share your thoughts on the Facebook comments. Had a chance to catch up with those at the halftime break. Certainly if you are a goalkeeper, be sure to touch base with Chris Kelly. I think he's looking for a keeper in the IPL, the Illawarra Premier League. Some of the comments we hear on the Facebook Interactive. Always interesting, always engaging. Can go off on a different tangent, but it's a pleasure to have your company from Belmore Sports Ground. How will this one shape up in the second half? Wollongong, as we said, Luke Wilkshire certainly not pleased with the way they let Sydney FC back in the game last week. Also against Sydney United, they had a lead there and they conceded an equaliser in a 2-2 draw away to at Adensor Park. So certainly in the last couple of weeks, they have conceded late goals. And Luke Wilkshire, even though he's not on the dugout or not on the bench today, suspended for this one. As Olympic try to build in. Gay Tatsis here. Can't shake off Georgievich though. Richard Lee with the duties. Player who did represent Wollongong Wolves in the NSL era. Part of the coaching setup here. The under-18s coach, so he stepped in on game day today. An experienced manager he is. And he'd certainly be pleased with the outcome of that first half. They did allow Alex Sanchez in a couple of times in behind. And that's something that Wilkshire has spoken about. So far, Thomas James has been limited to a couple of free kicks from outside the box. A little bit frustrated there. Free kick going against him. The Englishman who came into this round 5, as the leading scorer in the competition. But I can give you an update from Lambert Park. Apia Leichhardt Tigers leading that one by 3-0 with just under 10 minutes remaining over the Rockdale City Suns. And 2 goals from Chris Payne in the first half. So Chris Payne joining Thomas James at the top of the goal scorers tally on 7. This time a free kick to Thomas James. Avasard's gone. Certainly not pleased with that one. The Sydney Olympic coach getting a bit of a talking to from the referee, Brad Wright. Saw Luke Wilkshire sent off last week from the sideline. Olympic feeling that there was nothing in that one. Just having a chat now with Adrian Arndt, the 4th official, the experienced Adrian Arndt. Part of the A-League panel, one of the fourthies, as they like to call each other in the A-League scene. Usually gets a role in the middle in the New South Wales top tier, but helping out the youngster Brad Wright in only his second game. And certainly hotting up here. It's going to look like Brad Wright is going to pull out a second yellow card here. So it's a first yellow card to the Wollongong Wolves. Guy Knight, the player who's just been booked in the 49th minute to go with the yellow card to Harry Gaitatsis in the first half. So a player on each side booked. Certainly Olympic won't want to lose this one at home. So what a second half this promises to be. Tension at the start of this second period. Mentioned Chris Payne joining Thomas James at the top of the goal scorers charts. That hat-trick last week, a brace the week before, and now 2 so far in that game against Rockdale. The other scorer for Apia, the skipper Sean Simmons. I believe that's his first of the season. So Apia at the moment, as the competition stands, on 12 points at the top of the table. In fact, Wollongong Wolves, if the score remains as it is, will go to 13 points at the end of the round. But Olympic certainly, after 2 wins on the trot against Harcoa and Mount Druitt Town Rangers, they won't want to let this one slip. And mark my words, I don't think this one's over by any means. Olympic coming out with lots of intent early in the second half. They got a free kick here. It's been a stop-start to the beginning of the second half. Olympic switching it out now through Stamatellis to Satalios. Now Whiteside. Happy to switch it out now to the right-hand side for Will Angel. Carter tracking across. Work rate is a big feature of the Luke Wilkshire template. And now they try and build on the edge of the box. Can't quite connect there. Saw what Gaitatsis was trying to do. The flick on their attempt. Talios beating Callahan in the air. Now Georgievic, another of the youngsters for the Wollongong Wolves. Now Akata looking to play the ball inside. In fact, he goes wide to the left for James. James, as we said, likes to peel into those wide areas. Now he takes on Stamatellis. And Henderson had to get down sharp. Sniffing around for the pieces was Lachlan Scott. But Henderson got down. An excellent bit of work again from the veteran. Speaking of excellent work, Jack Stewart beats 2. And now he can switch it out to Madonis. Can he keep it in? The skipper does just about enough. Excellent last week against the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Here he is driving at McDonald. The ball in from Madonis. End-to-end action. One end it was Thomas James driving in from the left. Back to the other end, and it was Madonis doing exactly the same. Two of the stars of the top flight competition in New South Wales. And here's Hadjigligor getting forward from the holding role in central midfield. Now Whiteside. The flick on there. Satalios again. Certainly picking up where they left off Olympic. That final ball, the execution around the edge of the box. Not quite flowing tonight or this afternoon. We're about to see the first change early in the second half. It's only taken just under 8 minutes for Abassad to go to his bench. And it is going to be Nikola Kaleski. So Nikola Kaleski is going to go on into that midfield, it looks like. And he's come on for Jack Stewart. So might see a little bit of a tactical adjustment here. A holding midfielder, a central midfielder, on for a wide player. So Junior Arn's gone into the top third here. That's the adjustment from Abassad. Junior Arn's gone into the attack on the left-hand side. Jason Madonis has switched over to the right-hand side. And Kaleski's gone into the midfield alongside Hadjigligor, and it's to be a second yellow card here to the Wolves in quick succession. So the other Bulli player, the other player that's come across from Bulli, saw Guy Knight go into the book a short time ago. Now it's Harry Callahan that joins him. So Madonis has gone over to the right-hand side, and here he is, the target of this one. Can he pick up the loose ball edge of the box? Coming forward is Will Angel. And now he's looking to get Arn in. Again, it's that final ball from Olympic. Been much the story of the afternoon so far at Belmore. Madonis takes his player on. Can he get to the second ball here? Stoichevsky sweeps up for the Wollongong Wolves as Okada's pressed from behind. Now they go forward to James. He's got the speed. Goes past Stamatellis. In fact, he attracts the challenge from Stamatellis with that speed. And Stamatellis joins Gatatsis in the book for Sydney Olympic. So Stamatellis, quick succession of yellow cards here. 3 in 6 minutes. The second there to Sydney Olympic. 2 apiece. Speaking of piece, it is a set piece here to the Wollongong Wolves. We've seen the quality throughout the first half of Okada's delivery. Here he is to the back post, Georgievich. Can't get his header under control. Now Koleski away. Chance to pick up the loose ball here, Wolves, and keep the pressure on. Okada now on the left. Oh, brilliant skill from the Japanese visa player. Now he looks inside. Skinned Will Angel on that far side. But inside was Tom Whiteside. Excellent piece of defending there. But what about the move from Takuro Okada? Announcing himself out of the Corrimal Rangers in the Illawarra Premier League last season. And some of his work over the set piece and in general play, here's another chance to find the delivery. Commentators curse there. We've spoken about his in glowing terms about the quality of his delivery. That's probably the first of the season that he hasn't hit a target. Takuro Okada, for all his good play in general, I think certainly he's built up a number of assists already. But Luke Wilkshire certainly put the challenge out for him to work on his finishing and improve that finishing. Not something he's been noted for. Olympic trying to find their finisher in Sanchez. Defensive work coming in from Littler, who's been terrific this season since moving across from the Sutherland Sharks. Again, it's that ball, too straight this time from Koleski. And that delivery into the final third from Sydney Olympic, it's been a source of frustration for them. Long ball here. Henderson's got that one covered from keeper to keeper. Can give you an update from Lambert Park. It looks like Arpy have extended their lead. We're going to see another yellow card here. Lachlan Scott becomes the fourth player booked in this half. The third for the Wollongong Wolves. So Scott's got a goal and now he's got a yellow card. Yellow card starting to mount. We're not even at the hour mark. So 5 players now have to be careful. Certainly the tally of fouls has lifted in this second half. Neither side prepared to give the other too much space. You can see that's been part of the address. Here's the combination attempt from Gatatsis looking for Madonis. And now it's Junior Arn on the left-hand side. His first opportunity to go at Callahan, who gets it forward to James. Oh, lovely back heel from Thomas James. And now it's open for the Wollongong Wolves through Lachlan Scott. Players streaming forward. One of those was Stoichevsky, tried to find him, but Olympic worked back. Good defensive transition from them. Shows you the quality of both these sides. You think the opportunity is going to be created. Defensive pressure comes. Olympic certainly last year, a hallmark of their play, conceding only 19 goals in 22 games. A real feature for them, their defensive solidity. And as I said earlier on, 6 goals conceded in the opening 4 games. I don't think Abbassad will be too pleased about that. It's the same story for Luke Wilkshire. Teams with the best defence invariably go a long way in the New South Wales top flight, same across so many leagues. And we saw that last year with Sydney Olympic, the Premiership Championship double on the back of that solid defensive work. That foundation that allowed the likes of Sanchez to flourish up front. So conceding 7 goals in the opening 5 games. Yeah, it's certainly something Abbotside will continue to want to work on. Olympic players starting to get really frustrated. They're behind here. Wollongong holding them up. They want to go quickly. Now Callahan knocks it down to Stoicheski. Looks over the top for James, who's battling away there. Good decision there from the referee, Brad White. Looked like Whiteside was holding the shirt of James there, and Whiteside's got to be careful. Couple of fouls against him. And the other thing Olympic have to be careful about is the mounting number of set pieces, which you can no doubt see on our captions. Wollongong with another chance for Okada to whip this one in. Seen Henderson tested from a couple of set pieces. Forward is the likes of Georgievski. This one's over the top. McDonald and Georgievski were the targets. Now McDonald recycles. The right back for the Wolves. One of the few players, in fact, who's been retained from last year's squad. Such a big turnover in the off-season from the team from the South Coast. McDonald gives away the free kick there in that far corner. Olympic, as I said, behind, trailing 1-0. If you have just joined us at the hour mark here, Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels. Hope you're enjoying this in the Fraternity Club, no doubt tucking into some dinner there. Got the live streams going on the big screen. What a great feature that is. The local community getting behind the Wolves, and they're looking to extend their undefeated run. Get their manager, Luke Wilkshire, back on the bench next week in that first home game at Wynn Stadium against the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. 3 p.m. kickoff there. What a big game that'll be. Mount Druitt Town Rangers certainly been in a lot of contests. Been picking up points, but also leaking a couple of goals in recent couple of games. Took a 2-0 lead last night in a game that was called by Nicholas Kutniak out at Popondetta. Great game that was. Mount Druitt Town Rangers winning that one 2-0 early on, leading that one 2-0. Sydney FC coming back. 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. Certainly the introduction there of Hamish Lamberton, Marco Tilio made a massive difference to Sydney FC. Also the form of Geordie Swibble has been very impressive for them. Mount Druitt Town Rangers, Kaskiri's been a real feature for them, Cooper Kaskiri, and he'll visit the Wollongong Wolves next week. But back at Belmore, it is Junior Ahn building. What a ball that is! The defensive work comes from Georgievich. And now it's Madonis trying to tap it down, edge of the box to Gaitatzis. Can't connect again. Good delivery from Junior Ahn, but nothing on the end of it for Olympic. Been the story of their afternoon so far. Not really tested Passfield. Here's the ball over the top from the Wolves. Whiteside with the clearance. Strong defensive work there. Finds his skipper in Madonis, who has to battle away. Olympic with a chance to set up high here with a throw. Looking for the movement. Madonis comes. And now Madonis on the edge of the box. Double team though. And the Wolves can clear through Guy Knight. Whiteside's got to be alert here. James sniffing around. The Englishman. Cheeky on the pitch as much as he is off it. Managed to catch up with him in the tunnel just before the game. Wanted to take a sneak peek at the notes. Look at the formation of Olympic. As Olympic come forward through Satalios. Player who's really captured the imagination of the New South Wales NPL scene. But he's certainly got a bit of a challenge in terms of competition. Leading goal scorers, Chris Payne. Scoring a brace in a 4-0 win for Apia this afternoon at Lambert Park over Rockdale City. So Apia going to 12 points. Putting the pressure here on the Wollongong Wolves as they want to stay on top. At the end of round 5, they need to come away with the 3 points here. Olympic looking to go equal with Wollongong Wolves on 10 points. Came into this one on 7. But Apia, one of the teams that's been around, right in the mix. A couple of grand finals, Premiership, Waratah Cup. Looking to go next level this season under John Kalaja. Go to 12 points as Sanchez comes forward down that left-hand side, but Littler stepping out of defence. Not happy with the work higher up the pitch in terms of the pressing there, allowing Olympic to come forward. Satalios comes forward down the left-hand side. Can't get the better of Scott though. So Apia with a 4-0 win. Andre de Jong, the 4th goal scorer there to go with the 2 from Payne and also 1 from Sean Simmons. As Olympic bring on a goal scorer, noted goal scorer in Radovan Pavicevic. Harry Gaitatsis is the player that makes way, 66 minutes in here. So the second change for Abbassad. Pavicevic comes in, looks like he's gone in just behind Alex Sanchez. So Jinya An remains on the left-hand side, Jason Madonis on the right, and Pavicevic in behind Sanchez. So a bit of goal-scoring punch up front. Can they find the combination? James has drifted here. Is he offside? The flag stays down. James going forward. In the end, the ball's gone out. It's a goal kick. It's a goal kick. Henderson touching it after it went past the byline. Fans there wanting a offside call against James. In the end, coming to nothing for the Wollongong Wolves, who've yet to go to their bench. "67 minutes have elapsed here, midway point of the second half. Certainly was a thought about having drinks earlier on this afternoon. It was a scorcher of a day. But with the clock going back an hour overnight on the eastern seaboard, certainly this game kicking off at 4 p.m, but in cooler conditions. And now Wollongong trying to apply a bit of pace. Callahan was the player sniffing around for the opportunity, forcing Olympic to knock it out for a corner. Nakata it is over this set ball. So Akata, Callahan drops short. Olympic alert to it this time. So Akata resets. Littler's in there. So's Georgievich. Put pressure on Henderson. Terrific punch from him. All the way out to McDonald. Now Stoichevsky manages to squirt it out to that left-hand side. Will Angel reading it well, though, for Olympic. He can look long. Mentioned the Wolves will be in midweek action in FFA Cup Round 4 action away to the Dunbar Rovers at Hensley Athletic Field. So a lot of players that have been on the outskirts of this squad. Some of the under-20s as well. Might get a bit of a run out there. Interesting to see what sort of lineup Luke Wilkshire shapes up with there. For now, the focus is on trying to solidify this 1-0 lead. Olympic pressed high here. Look long for Sanchez. Djordjevic has had a terrific start to life in the top team here. Player who's come through the Wollongong Wolves under-20s. Big, strong and reliable was the description I got from Wilkshire in the pre-season. And certainly hasn't he lived up to that billing. Impressive start to his career in the New South Wales NPL top flight. Olympic can't create an opportunity on the edge of the box again. Wollongong certainly been working on their defence. Speaking to Richard Lee, said they've had a terrific week on the training paddock ahead of this one. While Olympic haven't really helped with the final delivery, I think certainly Wollongong defensively have looked very solid, but they have leaked goals late in games. And that's the big question mark as we head into the final 20 minutes here at Belmore. Olympic trying to mount some pressure. They've brought on Pavicevic. They've moved Junior Ahn into the top third. And they've got the predatory instincts of Alex Sanchez, the skipper Jason Madonis as well. And the precious short amount on this young Wollongong side. As Tossi looks for Stojcevski. Is James in an offside position there? The flag stays on as Henderson comes out here. And there was Scott, was it, in the end? No, Stojcevski it was. Getting on the end of that. Couldn't get that on target. But James managing to, his movement again, staying on side and slipping that ball to the running Stojcevski out of midfield. And Wolves continue to look dangerous in transition. As Olympic push on, that certainly be the pattern of the game. Space for James. Now Satalios pushes on down the left-hand side. Gets it into Junior Ahn. Great opportunity. Tries the first-time effort. Can't get it on target though. And it's gone away for a goal kick. As we're going to see a card here. It is to be a yellow card, in fact. The referee, Brad Wright, booking the coach, Abbassad. Had a chat to him a bit earlier on. Probably frustrated. Felt that was an offside in the earlier play. So Abbassad saw Luke Wilkshire get a red last week, and now it's the Olympic skipper in a bit of trouble. He's got to be on his best behaviour here. Frustration for the Olympic manager. What an opportunity that is. Henderson coming off his line. Bravery there from the custodian. Wollongong again going very quick. And Henderson putting his body on the line. Another terrific performance from the Olympic shot stopper. Wolves looking to combine on the edge of the box. Scott again. This time straight at Henderson. Good battle that is against Tom Whiteside. Lachlan Scott showing his value at this level. Player who dropped out of the A-League system just before the start of the NPL season. Certainly in hot property. Now the ball from Henderson as Passfield comes out. It's a free kick to the keeper. The challenge coming from Jason Madonis, but an excellent cross again from Junior Ahn. Back to Lachlan Scott, certainly a player that was being chased in the off-season. Interest from the likes of Sutherland as well. Player who hails from Wollongong region. Deciding to go with his home side in the Wolves. And what a partnership it looks to be with Thomas James, who hasn't yet found the back of the net today. Looking to score in the 5th consecutive game. Great statistic on the Wollongong Wolves Facebook page during the week. Bit of Wollongong Wolves trivia. Great to see that interaction between them and their fans. They were looking to find out whether Thomas James could try and match the record of the player with the most goals in consecutive games for the Wollongong Wolves. And lots of questions, lots of speculation around who that player might have been. I guess Sash Petrovsky's probably the first player that comes to many minds. Others like Stuart Young as well. A couple of great NSL players for the Wolves. But in fact, scoring in 6 consecutive games for the Wollongong Wolves, Des Giraldi. We'll come back to that one as Thomas James looks to make it. Another goal as he comes forward down the right-hand side. This time the block coming from Stamatellis. James yet to score today, but Des Giraldi managing to score in 6 consecutive games for the Wolf. Also, Chimabozi and Waragazi, who was a player for the Wollongong Wolves during the NSL era, was another who scored in 5 consecutive games, player known as Chima. So James has scored in 4 consecutive games, hasn't been able to find the net so far today. At the other end, it's Pavicevic against Sky Knight, who gets that second ball, and now Okada. Trying to shake off Gligor, who does a great job in the midfield. In the end, though, it falls to Scott. And now he finds James. He's got a lot of space there. Stoichevsky picks up the loose ball. Callahan still in a high position here, trying to combine with James. Can only get it as far as Madonis, though. And now Jason Madonis. Can he go forward for Olympic quick? Pavicevic with a good first touch. Radovan Pavicevic driving into the box now. He's got a couple of options square. One of them is Kaleski. Looking to combine there with Madonis. Stepping out was Tossi. Does a lot of the defensive work for the Wolves. Goes unnoticed a lot of the times. Kaleski. He's shot blocked that occasion by Stoichevsky, the other central midfielder. And now Thomas James loves this space. Chance to transition and go at Stamatellis. James with the cut back. Scott was the target, but in the end, Whiteside's alert to it. And he clears. Akata now with lots of space. Chance to go at Gligor. Gets it inside for Scott. In fact, the combination. Flag's gone up this time against Thomas James, who's starting to really find a bit of space in transition. Wollongong yet to go to the bench. But those 2 strikers up front, they've done a lot of running, especially shuttles in the last few minutes. Forward and back, Scott and James just going down, having a bit of a stretch. We've got just under 14 minutes remaining here at Belmore plus stoppage time. 1-0 it is to the visitors, the Wollongong Wolves. Talk about the away record. Certainly a couple of home teams winning today, Manly United and Apia Leichhardt Tigers. But here it is the visitors, leading by 1-0. Olympic trying to mount a comeback. Now Kaleski. Gligor's got it out to the right-hand side again. Pavicevic has gone inside to join Sanchez. Can they finally find the final ball? It's been the real story for Abbasad's team. Here's the combination. Again, it's McDonald reading it, though. Arn and Satalios trying to combine on the left. Pavicevic has pulled over to support the 2 wide players as Arn drifts his cross in off a Wollongong player in the end, straight into the hands of Passfield. 13 minutes remain here. A reminder, it's not the end of New South Wales NPL action. It's been end-to-end here. We haven't had a chance to breathe, but I can remind you, there is one more game to come this evening. 7 p.m. at Marconi Stadium. Join Will Gotsis for the game between the Marconi Stallions, really needing a win. Involved in a thriller last week, losing right at the death to Manly United, and they're hosting Hakoah, who themselves are coming off a loss last week to Sydney Olympics. So a big game, that one. Important points at stake. We're about to see the first substitution. Just said the 2 strikers for the Wollongong Wolves were down, looking for a bit of a stretch. And it is to be the first change. Looks like Darcy Madden, the player that will be coming on for the Wollongong Wolves, for Lachlan Scott. So it looks like we might see a midfielder coming on. Callahan might be joining James in that front third as ball slips inside for Sanchez. And Littler comes across with the block, but an excellent ball in behind. Sanchez hasn't had too much space this afternoon. Littler's been wearing him like a glove. And there he was applying the defensive block on the end of an excellent delivery from Jason Madonis. Junior Ahn, who certainly can deliver a ball. Ahn it is, with the corner. Can he find the target here? Can't get it past the first player at the near post. Stojcevski it was. He's done a mountain of defensive work, the holding midfielder. Olympic looking to find an equaliser as we approach the final 10 minutes here at Belmore Sports Ground. Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels. Let us know your thoughts. You think Olympic can find an equaliser? If so, who's the man? Pavicevic has come on. Arns trying to get the delivery in from that left-hand side, and Sanchez sniffing around. Got a brace midweek against the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Can they find an equaliser here? If not, they'll already be 6 points behind the Wolves, 5 points behind Apia Leichhardt Tigers. Very early in the season still. Next week, they've got an away trip to the Rockdale City side at Illendon next Sunday. Certainly looking forward to that one, the game that'll be. As Olympic try and find their equaliser here. The cross coming in, and Passfield forced into a save at the near post. Madonis it was, turning on that throw-in. And Passfield taking no chances, punching it away for an Olympic corner. 82nd minute here. Stamatellis comes forward, scored from a header against the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Whiteside's in there as well. Goes to the near post. Madonis with the flick on. Now Whiteside lays it off to Koleski. Dinks it inside. Djordjevic away. Helped away by Stojcevski. Will Angel keeps it alive. Ahn does well to keep it in. Excellent work from Olympic. Now on the left foot. Ahn! What a ball! And the defending comes. Excellent bit of play again. Great defending from Littler. Pavicevic it was, trying to dive into the near post. And the pressure mounting from the host, Sydney Olympic. Here they are over the back post. Djordjevic away. Only as far though as Koleski. Starting to pick up a lot of loose ball. Again, he can't get it past the first defender. This time Darcy Madden. Whiteside stays forward here. Satalios finds himself in space. Can't get it past the defender again. Wollongong have done a great job with that first defender blocking many of the crosses. Clearly been doing a lot of work on that during the week. Still time for Olympic. 1-0 down. Madonis it is with the corner. Goes near post. Passfield punches away. Stamatellis picks up the loose ball. Now Koleski combines with Gligor. Gligor inside the box. Keeping his composure was Guy Knight. Olympic can mount pressure though. The throw in on that far side. In comes the long throw. Callahan just about doing enough there. It's another corner. Junior Ahn's going to go across and take this one. Not only very good in the attacking third at set pieces, Wollongong, they've proved their defensive solidity at set pieces so far. No doubt sitting on the edge of your seats at the fraternity club. If you're watching back home in the South Coast, got a bit of defending to do here. Olympic trying to mount the pressure. In the end, it's a goal kick here. Crowding him out. Other players gone down with the stretch here. A couple of players, in fact, one for each side. As we're going to see another substitution. The youngster Jordan Nikolovsky is going to come on here for the Wolves. So Nikolovsky has come on for Callahan throughout the season. Let's keep an eye on this one. See who the player that comes off. Looks like it will be the youngster Harry Callahan. The swap we've seen right throughout the season so far. A productive afternoon for Harry Callahan. No goals for him, but certainly lively coming in from that right-hand side of the midfield. The 19-year-old has made a real impression stepping up out of the Illawarra Premier League, taking his opportunity to make an impression, next level up, as has this man. Hasn't quite been his night so far. Thomas James certainly continues to present though. We're going to see a change here. It looks like Stamatellis might be the player that's replaced. Darcy Burgess will come on. So Darcy Burgess into the midfield. Stamatellis replaced. Looks like they might go to a back three here, Olympic. So Koleski's gone out to the right-hand side. Adonis is tucked inside a little bit more central, closer to Pavicevic and Sanchez. And looks like they might be going to a back three here, Olympic. Will Angel alongside Whiteside. Here's Will Angel with the defensive header. Also Satalios in there. And Koleski. It's gone over to that right-hand side. Can he provide a bit of forward thrust off the bench? Darcy Burgess in that midfield. Third and final substitution for Abbassad as they look to clear their bench and really stack that front third. That's really the motto here for the last 5 minutes for Olympic. Pavicevic is the target here, but Passfield comes off his line. Been the story for Olympic, not really found that execution. Credit to the Wolves though. Defensively very solid today. Now it's Ahn coming forward on the left-hand side. Junior Ahn. Burgess with his first touch. Now the combination. Again, they can't get it through that midfield. And Wolves can counter through James. This time he gets past. Whiteside keeps the ball in play. Thomas James bearing down on goal. The cutback! And there's the finish! And is that the 3 points to the Wollongong Wolves? 87 minutes in here. And Darcy Madden with the finish. The tee-up from Thomas James. The counter-attack there, exploiting the space as Olympic come forward. And Wollongong Wolves, are they about to extend their lead at the top of the competition? Undefeated, coming in on 10 points. A win here will take them to 13. And no goal for Thomas James tonight. But the assists there to Darcy Madden, the substitute. Skipping past Whiteside, showing his explosive speed down the right-hand side. And the Wollongong Wolves are going to go home to Win Stadium next week. A big crowd there. Certainly come out and watch that. A must watch next Sunday afternoon. A 2-0 lead here against the champions. In what's looking like another big early season statement from Luke Wilkshire's side. Talked about their away record over the past few seasons. But 4 games away from home. And they've gone and beaten Apia Leichhardt Tigers 3-0. They've taken a point away at Adensor Park in a 2-2 there. And they've come here to Belmore and currently leading the champions by 2-0. And that was after also getting a 4-3 win against Sydney FC last week at Lambert Park. What a month it's been for the Wolves. 5 games, looks like 4 wins. Certainly not over this one, but 80 in the 89th minute now. It'll take some sort of miracle from Sydney Olympic They'll certainly need one back quick here. Burgess. Coming forward again, Nick Zatalios. Certainly a big game next week for Olympic if they don't get anything out of this one. Zatalios, though, trying to give him a late lifeline. Now it's Jinya Ahn. Again, there's very little space with Djordjevic and Littler, so strong in the air. And that outlet, James, trying to take on Whiteside again. This time Whiteside's on the job. Frustration again from the Olympic bench. What about the quality on that delivery? We've seen talked all about his goal scoring, Thomas James, but certainly showing he can provide the assists as well. Heads up play there. Counter attack, spotted Madden in the middle. As Ahn comes forward. Tried and tried, have Sydney Olympic. No answers though today. Wollongong has certainly stepped it up defensively. Been a rock solid performance. Their first clean sheet since that round 2 win over the RPL Leichhardt Tigers. If they can maintain that 2-0 lead. They go away to Rockdale next week. Reminder, later on from Marconi Stadium, we'll have the final game in round 5 as Madonis is crunched there in the middle by Ben Tossi. And he gets a yellow card. Olympic player's not pleased with that one. Comes the 4th Wolves player to go in the book. And it's a late set piece here to Koleski. Dinks it inside. Pavicevic trying to climb. Again, it's Littler. Luke Wilkshire early in the season described him as smoking cigars. So cool has he been. And it's been another dominant display in the heart of the defence. Not giving Sanchez, later on Pavicevic as well, much of a sniff. Having said that, I think Olympic will certainly be keen to work on that final delivery. Something that's let them down today. They're very good against Mount Druitt on Wednesday. Haven't been able to quite create the chances. As Zatalios gets into the box. Play on's the call there. Wanted the foul. So a reminder, join us at 7 p.m. Will Gotsis with you from Marconi Stadium. Important game, that one. Alcoa had a couple of wins on the spin and lost last week. Marconi got a win in round 3 and then slipped up last week against Manly. Keep up with all the Football New South Wales socials and all the online information as Olympic come forward. A chance there it was. Darcy Burgess trying his luck, deflected just wide. Trying to get a late goal here, Olympic. Looks like it'll prove to be a bit of a consolation. As the ball comes in from Madonis, over Passfield. And there was Whiteside at the back post, couldn't quite connect. And it looks like that might be the last chance for the hosts. Disappointing afternoon for Sydney Olympic here at Belmore Sports Ground. Having said that, the Wollongong Wolves have executed their game plan perfectly. Not created an overabundance of chances, but certainly the better of the chances. So we're going to see a late change here. Thomas James is going to make his way to the sideline, probably very slowly, to be replaced by Stefan Domovsky. So his goal-scoring streak comes to an end. 7 in 4. But certainly he'll be back in action next week at home at Wynn Stadium and looking to push Chris Payne. What a battle that promises to be throughout the season. I'm sure Alex Sanchez will have his say as the season unfolds as well. So the youngster, Stefan Domoski, who's made a couple of cameo appearances, was excellent at Lambert Park in that 3-0 win against Apia. Littler goes forward. Anywhere will do now for the Wolves. Certainly keep an eye on the NPL New South Wales Facebook page, also nplnewsouthwales.com.au. Catch up on YouTube. Certainly great features there. You can rewind. Games on demand at any time. All the highlights will be up in the next couple of days as well. As Italios comes forward, trying to add one late for Olympic. But he overruns it. And that's the end of the action here. The Wollongong Wolves continue to make early season statements here. That trend of away victories continues here at Belmore Sports Stadium, where they've beaten the champions Sydney Olympic by 2-0. Goals in the first half, one to Lachlan Scott and one late through Darcy Madden, teed up by Thomas James. No goals for the competition's leading scorer, but an assist laid on and a big statement against the champions. Wollongong Wolves continue to lead the competition. They go to 13 points. Apia, after their win earlier today, moving up to 12 points. So certainly the cream's starting to rise to the top. Olympic with a bit of work to do next week. Looking forward to that one at Rockdale. What a game that'll be. The Wolves, in the meantime, they entertain the Mount Druitt Rangers next week. So get down to the Wynn Stadium. What a game that promises to be. Wolves back at home for the first time. But from Belmore Stadium, Tony Tanous with you on behalf of the team from Football New South Wales, where it's finished. Wollongong Wolves 2, Sydney Olympic 0.